Well, on behalf of Dr. Andre and Pastor Jenny Rabbit, welcome to another exciting episode of Behind the Faith. Right now, we are in our studio control room as our team is busy recording content for the Faith Global Institute. We're so excited for you to join. This is truly Behind the Faith because you guys are seeing what's happening behind the scenes. But thank you for connecting with us and thank you for joining us today.
It is so good to be with everybody. I mean, it's really been exciting hearing and getting the feedback from you of how this network has been such a blessing to you. And if you have not yet stayed connected with us, you can do so on all our social media platforms. So that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The handle's very simple, at MyFaithTV. Or simply go to our YouTube channel, MyFaithTV. Or Faith Now is the place to catch up with the content that you've been missing, faithnow.net.
And listen, man, while Pastor Ron is sharing some wisdom right here behind us, let's go get some more wisdom from TJ Morkel, who runs the project of the Faith Dome, to give us a brief update as to what is going on right now at the Faith Dome. Well, good day, Faith family. It is awesome to join you guys today. I am not alone today, and I have the incredible project manager of the Faith Dome, TJ Morkel. TJ, welcome to a Faith Dome update right here, well, in the beautiful Faith Dome.
Pastor Bande, it's great to be with you today, and welcome to all our viewers out there. It's an honor to sit here and to discuss with you the Faith Dome.
Yeah. Well, TJ, listen, man, you're the project manager. You've been behind the scenes working on this thing. You've seen the impossible happen, so to speak. How was that, seeing that vision unfold? How does that impacted you in pursuing this vision as well?
Well, first of all, vision is what is described as what one can see. Okay, now that goes for both the natural as well as the supernatural.
Yeah.
But the supernatural, we know, is a little bit more difficult to see. And vision is one of those things that is given to man.
Yeah.
God gives man the vision. But if I have to think about, the vision that was given to Noah, it was not given to his wife. It was not given to his children. Noah had to share that vision.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Andre got the vision. He had to share it with us.
Yeah.
And we had to trust him and trust that God spoke to him about this vision for the ministry, this vision for the dome. For me, it has grown me in an awesome way. It has taken my faith to the next level to see everything unfolding. It was difficult in the beginning to trust Pastor Andre about the vision, but our trust is not in man, our trust is in God. So I had to align myself, my faith, and my own mindset to God. That this is about God, this is God's vision, this is God's will being done here, and that whole process for me has been amazing. It has really changed me. It has opened up my mind to in terms of how God operates. Yeah. And trusting God. When you are looking at the natural and you see just obstacles, I was speaking to the contractor, the owner of the company, last year when he mentioned to me, TJ, that in South Africa, in fact, he couldn't find anywhere on the internet or anywhere else a dome that was built on a fourth floor story. Most domes are built on ground level. Here we're sitting on a fourth floor, and there's a dome that is sitting high up on the fourth floor.
Sure.
And there's nothing like this in South Africa, and he said to me he couldn't find anything else in the world. So we are making history by what is being done, and this is all being done in little old East London.
Come on. TJ, it's so incredible because you spoke about the contractor, and there's so many other people involved behind the scenes, and it's been such an honor because a lot of them, his lives have been impacted. But share with us a bit, like some of the people who are involved and what they do behind the scenes in making this vision or seeing this vision come to pass.
Well, Pastor Bande, when you look at everything you see around here, you would imagine that there is a massive team here at River Park doing all of this work, but that's not. We are a small team, as you know, even in the TV network, it's a small team that exists here, and we simply cannot do all of this without God's help, without God's provision. God has blessed us with so much knowledge, insight. We are learning as we go along. We are not experts. We align ourselves with men and women who are experts, and they bring in their knowledge and their skill set in order to accomplish this. But the team that we have here, I found that team to be incredible. I've been part of this ministry now since 2009 when I joined in the events department, and I've gone through ministry, I've gone through the TV department, I've gone through the printing department, and now I'm in the maintenance department. So I've gone through most parts or most departments within this organization, and it is awesome to see what God is doing with the resources that we find ourselves here in this London. Nobody would think that this small little town, living in or situated in the poorest province in the country, can accomplish what we see here today. It is impossible, for some people it will be impossible, it would be unthinkable, but for God all things are possible. And a team that is supporting us and Dr. Andre, they've poured their hearts into this. They've worked long hours, they've toiled, they've stressed, but they've supported the vision. And we couldn't do this without the security guards. We couldn't do this without the cleaners. We couldn't do this without the maintenance workers. All of this is possible through them helping us, from the smallest thing that they contribute and that they do for us. Eventually, when this is all done, when we all finished here, this will be a testament to their hard work, to their effort, to their faith, to their supporting Pastor Andre and Pastor Jenny in the vision.
Sure. Well, TJ, thank you very much for sharing with us a bit about your heart with what's happening in the Dome and your experience from the Dome. And you're right, man, you've been through everything in part of the ministry, and it's been such a blessing hearing you share. And thank you, partners, for all your support as well, and we truly appreciate you guys. And once again, this was another Faith Dome update.
Well, another amazing interview with TJ in the Great Faith Dome, looking at the progress of your faithful support of our faithful partners all around the nations of the world, right here in Buffalo City, what God is doing. And I tell you, you're a part of that. I know that God is even continuously working in your life, and I know the content on the network continues to bless you.
And you know what? Sunday live specials have been such a blessing to all of us. And with that, we have faithchurch.com with Nicole and David Crank at 12 a.m. every Sunday morning. Then we have Choose Life with John Rabbit at 8 a.m. We've got Hosting the Supernatural with Nikki and Lillian van der Westhuizen at 5 p.m. And then we have CRC with At Bosso, 6 p.m. These are Sunday specials that you do not want to miss. Obviously, not leaving out faith worship and everything else that's happening as well. You want to get plugged in on a Sunday.
Again, such amazing content on your favorite channel, Faith Broadcasting Network. Now, talking about content, Bande had an interview, 2 interviews rather, with Gregory Clare, Financially Speaking, as well as Stanley Moodley, one of our programmers on your favorite channel, with God Can. He's actually had a change up in his program. His time slot has moved. So now he's currently on Fridays at 5:30 a.m. on your favorite channel. So you don't want to miss him with God Can, Stanley Moodley. But I tell you what, let's go and have a look at these awesome interviews.
Well, I'm excited today to be joined by Pastor Stanley Moodley from Faith Center Ministries International. Pastor Stanley, welcome to Behind the Faith.
Thank you kindly, and I'm excited to be joining you on this interview today. It's truly an honor. Thank you.
Well, it's a blessing to have you, Pastor Stanley. But Pastor Stanley, currently, even as we're talking right now, you're in Durban in South Africa. And if anyone knows what's going on, it's all, I want to say it's been a few days of absolute chaos. but even as the title of your program is God Can, and I wanted to find out from you, why did you use that name of God Can?
God Can came about. I was in a hospital speaking to a doctor and a family who gave this man just a few hours to live. And so the family was devastated, and the man said, listen, I don't want to die here in hospital. Can you take me home? And so the family were busy preparing to get their dad home. And at that time, I got a word, Psalm 78, 19 and 20. Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? And I said, yes, God can. Yes, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we think or imagine, according to the power that worketh in us. And so that night I got our church to be praying, and I said to them, God can. The question asked in Genesis 18:14, is anything too hard for God? And Luke 1:37, the answer comes, for with God all things are possible. So that night I read to them Psalm 78, 19 and 20, and we said, God can do it. He's the same God that did miracles 2,000 years ago. We still believe that when we call, He is able to answer. And so God did answer our prayer. That brother didn't die. God saved him. I baptized him 3 months later, and he lived many years after that. It's quite a number of years now. He has gone to be with the Lord after many years.
Well, Pastor Stanley, that's incredible. That's an incredible testimony, just in the title. But as a person who's going to be watching the program God Can, connecting with you every Friday at 5:30 a.m., starting off my day, what can I expect from the program? What kind of a feel or a vibe am I going to expect from the program God Can?
See, when the storms of life are raging, when darkness pervades your day, when obstacles seem mountainous, and when your enthusiasm dwindles, know this, that God can.
Come on.
He can remedy any situation. He can deliver from any experience. He can heal any infirmity. He can restore broken relationships, and He can prosper even in the time of recession.
Sure.
Even in this time that we are going through right now, the unemployment, the recession, the strife that has been going on here in KZN. And we believe that when we call on the name of the Lord, our God can. And when you tune into the program God Can, I am sure you will be blessed and you will get your answers. No matter how dark the day may seem, know that God is able. Pain may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning when you believe that God can.
Sure. Well, Paul, thank you very much, Pastor Stanley. That was absolutely powerful. And we look forward to watching more of your program right here on the Faith Family of Networks. Pastor Stanley, even as we're chatting right now, I'm really blessed to have this opportunity to speak to you, fresh out of what's happening in KwaZulu-Natal. And even as we texted the other night, I really want to encourage you guys and as a family, as a ministry out there in Durban, in the Durban area, that God can, as you said, and He will make sure that this storm will pass and it will not consume any of us. Our fruit will not fall before its time, and we will see the mighty move of God flow through even KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, and throughout the entire country of South Africa, seeing the power of God touching and changing lives. I want to thank you for your time, and I also want to thank you for all the work that you guys do as a ministry as well within your communities.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless Pastor Stanley. Well, that was Pastor Stanley Mudley from Faith Center Ministries International, and you can catch his program God Can every Friday at 5:30 a.m. Start off your day knowing that God can. So as promised, we're back again this week, and we're talking business plan. Uncle Greg, it's great to have you once again this week. Our uncle in the finance business. It's good to be back again this week.
Good to be here, Bande.
So let's talk business plan. We spoke about structure last week, but this week we're talking about business plan. But I think the most important question is, what is a business plan?
You know,
So,
you are really good. You know, he starts with questions that are supposed to be easy.
yeah, well, these are the easy 5 points.
Look, it's a very important part of what you're going to do, but let me maybe just start by saying that whatever you put in your business plan is probably not going to happen.
So what's the point of a business plan if it's never going to happen?
No, of course. So you're watching and you're saying, well, Greg, what are you talking about? I mean, why should I bother if it's not going to happen? Well, liken it, and I'm only joking, by the way, but liken it to a captain of a ship.
Okay.
Okay, so you leave port, I know where I'm going. I keep going back to this ship analogy in all these past sessions, but it seems to work. So you're the captain of the ship, you're leaving port, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
But along the way, stuff is going to happen which you have to deal with, okay? And you might leave port with a route in mind, and you've plotted your course because it's the most expedient way to get there, it's maybe the most efficient way, the safest way to get there, all these considerations. But then suddenly winds come up which weren't taken into account and are a surprise. You could have big waves, you could have climatic conditions, you could have shipping get in your way.
You could have a guy walking on water and you have to say, listen, Jesus, if that's you.
I mean, stuff happens, right? So you obviously got to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
That's
same way
important.
with your business plan. So you start out with some kind of chart for where you're going.
Yeah.
But you must understand that circumstances are going to happen along the way, and you've got to keep adjusting your business plan. So a business plan is exactly that. It's a plan of action. It's got direction in it, it's got vision in it, and it's got strategy of what you're going to do. But along the way, you're going to have to revise that document. It's very important. So start understanding that that's the case. For you to rigidly stick to your original plan, I think is not the wisest thing, because you must never change your vision, because that's your direction, that's your objective, that's what you're trying to do. I don't think you must change that, but what you do is you change the way that you achieve that, because circumstances might cause you to change the way that you do that. So that's kind of what that is. And then the second thing I would say at the outset here is that what your business plan is a set of intended ways that you're going to approach something. Okay. It's where you determine what it is you're trying to do, and it's you start taking into account, where are you strong, where are you weak, what are the opportunities. We've heard this thing called a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And threats. So it's a good way to do it. Do it that way, and when you look at those 4 components, they start making you think about how you're going to approach this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's essentially what a business plan is. But when you start documenting it, understand that the one that you're writing down is not the one you're going to end with.
So it's a proposed strategic plan.
That's it.
So it's like a preacher preparing a message for a Sunday morning.
Exactly.
And he's got his 5 points
Exactly.
and sub points, and then he gets on the pulpit and God's like,
Exactly.
throw it all up in the air.
Things change. Can you adapt? So you can't be so rigid. And let me just speak spiritually for a moment. You must never adopt the attitude that you didn't hear God if your business plan's not working. Okay? God gives you direction. God gave Joshua the responsibility to settle the 12 tribes across the Jordan in Israel. That was kind of the end of the instruction. In fact, the instruction was have great courage. Get on with the job. Joshua had to get on with the job. We've got to get on with the job. And we pray, and the Lord gives us wisdom, and He gives us godly and skillful wisdom and direction, absolutely. But we've got to implement it. So things do adjust as you go. The other thing I want to say, and this is, I think, very key, professionally, I've read many business plans. And sometimes when you read a business plan, the language is so flowery and complex that I get to the end of the first paragraph and I have to start it again because I still don't know what they're trying to do.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Let me give you an example which will really help you. When I was practicing in years gone by, I had a client who he used to walk around with a calculator in his pocket. And he was very successful. He was a successful entrepreneur. But this is what he did. Whenever an opportunity presented himself, he'd whip out his calculator, he'd punch a couple of numbers and say, no, I'm not interested, that's not going to work. Or he'd punch a few numbers, this could work. Do you know what I mean? So what was he doing? He was taking what could be a complex proposal and simplifying it and saying, either I'm interested or I'm not.
Sure.
What is the message here? If your business plan, the financial elements of your business plan, don't work on a simple piece of paper, then they're not going to work in a 50-page document. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So either it works or it doesn't work. Either it really has the potential to work or it doesn't have the potential to work. I used to often see, I had a client who was going to apply to a bank for finance, for example, for a business proposition, a project. And the projections were so full of assumptions and all sorts of things. It was a 50-50 of it actually being able to happen. Before you begin to document a business plan, it must either work or not on a simple piece of paper.
Sure.
Okay, because it doesn't matter how many pages you add to that, it either works or it doesn't work.
Sure.
And that would be perhaps the best advice or the best note or pin I could put in this thought about business plans. Just crystallize it down to its very basic elements. Does this thing have the potential to work or not? If you've got to convince yourself that there's potential in a 50-page document, the likely is it doesn't work.
Sure. That's crazy. So I've got this entire document that's basically my proposed strategy for my business. And as you were saying, I might set sail and a kilometer out, I might have to toss it out the window already. So what then?
Well, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you in the business of you wanting to manufacture something, but the components or that you need to bring in your recipe for whatever you're manufacturing, you have to import.
Okay.
Well, if you've got a South African rand that is weakening against the dollar, it's getting progressively more expensive for you to be in business because it's costing you more to bring it into the country. So therefore, you might want to start looking for local components that are cheaper.
Okay.
Hopefully the same quality, but local components that are cheaper. So where you started with a business plan relying on imports, you're now starting to look locally because that's going to be a sustainable way of you staying in business. I mean, that's an oversimplified example, but it illustrates the point.
I understand what
You
you
started with one intent, but you need to change strategy. Same objective, just changing strategy.
Okay. Well, okay, so we get our plan in place and we get this boat going. We just begin to row our boat gently down the stream.
Bundy, let me say this. Look, but do you need a business plan? I think you do, because I think that the effort that you take to construct it forces you to consider things you might otherwise overlook.
Okay.
In other words, it's a time of thinking. It's a thought process, if it's nothing else. It forces you into a situation where you take various things into account that may affect your business or that you know will affect your business.
So it reveals potential blind spots.
Absolutely.
Basically.
I mean, it forces you to consider who are your competition and what are your competition and how do they operate? How can you operate differently that will put you ahead of them?
And how do you reach your market?
Exactly. How do you market your product? I mean, it gives you the opportunity just to sit and start thinking about those things. And so you're going to start documenting them. But as I say, if you've got to write 50 pages to convince yourself, you've already lost. You must know. Often your business plan is in your gut. You know, the Lord gave me this. This can work. The business plan is documenting how you're going to make that happen. So if you have to go to banks or if you have to go to others who you're going to bring into your business, they can get into your head. They can see what's in your head because you've put it out in a business plan. Be very careful who you give your business plan to. You know, there are dream stealers in the world. vision stealers. Your business plan often is going to incorporate information which the Lord has given you. And it's your strategic advantage. The more people that you give it to, the more you're giving away your strategic advantage. So be very careful who you disseminate your business plan to. That would be good advice.
Well, thank you very much for all of that. It's given me personally a lot to think about, and I'm sure you as well have had some thoughts. Listen, if you have any questions and things like that, always remember you need to consult a professional to help you walk through this process. And depending on what nation you're in, different rules apply and things like that. But make sure you write it down. Put it down on paper. Put it down on paper. Remember that.
Or it's vapor.
Exactly, that's right. Well, that's another session right here with our uncle in the finance business. Well, that was an incredible conversation, with Pastor Stanley, just what a man. And we're looking forward to seeing and actually hearing him minister to us with God Can.
Yes, and there's so much ministry happening on this platform. You can tune in. So Mondays to Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central African time, there is Faith Today, and it's always such a power-packed session, with Wednesday nights being home cell night. And on Fridays, if you are young at heart, the NXT Live is waiting for you. So that's every Friday, 6 p.m. Central African time. You can tune in on all our social media platforms as well. And Sunday, take me to church. It's time for us to gather as the body of Christ and really praise our Lord together. And that's on Sundays at 9 a.m. Central African time as well.
And all of this is possible because of your partnership and you walking this journey with us as a faith partner, as an ambassador. I want to encourage you right now to stay connected with us and continue to faithfully sow. Listen, if you want to become a monthly partner right here at the Faith Family of Networks, email us partner@myfaithtv.com or go to our website myfaith.tv, and you can partner with us, and you click on the donate button or the partner button where you can connect and be a part of what's going on right here at the Faith Family of Network. Let's remember something. When God called Abram out, which was Abram at that time, in Genesis chapter 12, he says, I'm calling you out from your people, from your nation, so you can be a blessing, because God says, I will bless you so you can be a blessing. So be encouraged. Even as we are blessed, we are called to be blessings. God has called us to be continual, perpetual seed sowers into nations and into the work of the ministry. So the gospel is preached into all the world, and then the end will come, and Jesus Christ will take his church and reign, and we will begin to reign in glory. So I want to encourage you right now, while we're here, we're not creatures of defeat or creatures that come second best. We are the head and not the tail. We are the leaders, and we will stand and rise. And through this time, even in times of uncertainty, the uncertainty is not ours, it's the world's uncertainty. We can stand and call ourselves children of God. So we thank you for joining us today, and we're so encouraged to have you partner with us right here at the Faith Family of Networks. On behalf of Dr. Andre and Pastor Jenny Raybert, we love you. God bless you. See you next time.